Hey everyone, Sammy Savage here, and today we're doing a full upper body day. Main focus is going to be an overhead press, but we're also going to do some rows, some flies, some pullovers, and some arms. The main focus of today is going to be on how many working sets you should be doing and exactly how to tell when it is that you do a working set. So we're going to get into that as we go through the workout. As always, we're going to start with our movement prep, so let's get right to it. All right, so today's movement prep, we're going to do 3 exercises: the 90-90 pull-up, TRX push-up, and a medicine ball slam. And we're doing overhead press today, and we're going to do a lot of volume, so big compound movement, multiple joints, a lot of force generation, a lot of coordination. So when we're doing this warm-up, we're focusing on stuff that's going to work on core stability and the ability to keep our rib cage and our pelvis together as we move through space, in this case an overhead press today. So we're also going to do stuff like the TRX push-up, which is going to work on some shoulder stability, and same thing with the rib cage pelvis. And the medicine ball slam, which is going to work on some neurology and get those nerves firing quick. So we'll be ready to go when we get into the overhead press. So for the TRX rows, stay strong through the wrists, up on the toes, and then keep a straight line through the body. Good stretch, and then push through and reach. Try not to cave in when you reach, keep the chest up tall still. And then the more parallel you make your body with the ground, the more difficult these ones will be. So for the medicine ball slam, let's do a stagger stance. Just keep most of your weight on one foot in the front. And then in this case, my right toe is gonna be in line with my left heel and a little bit out to the side. Now, back foot, we're gonna start at that hip, up and around the body, slam down next to the pinky toe. And when you're doing this, make sure you stay really stable from the grounded leg up through the core. It's really just kind of like your arms and your torso rotating around quickly. And I'm flicking my hands at the end, following through. Then switch. All right, so when I'm setting up this pullover, I'm getting my hips back a little bit here. And I'm getting a big reach through my lats and my shoulders, but I'm keeping my shoulder blades away from my ears. I'm not shrugged up here. So I'm keeping down, my hips back, and I'm gonna drag through with my elbows, ending with my hands near my thighs. And I'm kind of pulling away a little bit too at the same time. So big stretch. And my elbows are going in more of an arc shape, and then pulling through. Just getting all through lower lats, mid back. So this is set number 3 here. You know, first 2 sets were pretty easy, and I started light and just climb up. I want to get 4, maybe 5 sets total on this one, but I want the last 2 sets to be really challenging. So like this third set, as you just saw, like the end, my range of motion got, less. It went slower at the end. I was really contracting, so I'd consider that one that I just did a near failure set. I felt like I worked really hard on that, and the muscle really fatigued on it. So I'm gonna do one more with the same weight, and then we'll get to overhead press. So that was my 4th set there. And this is the first exercise of the day, so we got a little bit more volume in it. I did a few more lighter sets until I worked up to those working sets. And working set wise, I guess in this case, like you just saw, That's when the range of motion shortens. The fatigue causes your muscle contractions to slow down, so the movement slows down, and you're really recruiting everything regardless of the rep range. So that's what we'll consider a working set. And it changes depending on the exercise and the goal of that exercise and the program. But in this case, I wanted like 4 total volume-wise, just to get some blood in there, get everything warmed up. And the last 2 were pretty challenging. I'm even out of breath from the cable pullover. So that's kind of how you want to think about going, how many sets you want to do in your head. Anyway, let's get to overhead press. Next we got overhead press. So this one we're going to be doing a lot of volume. I did a 5x6 last week. Going to be aiming for a 6x6 with the same weight or a little bit more this week. So because I'm not going too heavy, I'm not that strong in this one yet. I'm going to be working up to like 115, 125-ish. So I'll probably do this and then one more warm-up set before getting into that 6x6. So it'll be 8 sets total. And you got to accumulate some volume like this, especially once you're a little bit more advanced in these strength phases. It's a lot of repeatability, a lot of doing the pattern perfectly over and over again. So it's definitely tedious, but the work pays off. So we'll do 2 warm-up sets and then get into 6x6 straight sets with 115, 125. All right, when you set up your overhead press, try and tuck your elbows under, right under the wrists, and get nice and stable, some good tension before you even take the bar off. Take your step back, feet grounded. Exhale and drive this overhead. Cutting your head in half with the arms. And elbows come back in front, drop down. And I'm transferring force all the way from my feet, through my core, into my hands. All right, that was set 3 of 6 there. So I'm trying to do 6 sets of 6 with this 115 here, build up that capacity, really make sure the movement pattern is the same timing every single time, same force, same speed. It's definitely slowing down a little bit, so I'm at a little bit of rest. I was doing 60 seconds. I'm gonna do about 75 to 90 seconds in between and try and keep that same speed and that same force going. So see how it goes. Last set here. Last one is super challenging. This is number 6 here. Should be pretty hard, but we're gonna kill it. All day. Jeez. All right, out of the 25, so first working set here, 10 to 12. Same tempo, same squeeze every set, or every rep. 1, 2. Right up to failure on that one, so we'll count that as our first working set. We stopped at 25s last week, so let's try and add 5 pounds. It'll be 10 pounds total, 5 on each side, and try and squeeze out another 12. Working set 2. All right, so past 2 weeks on this, I only did 2 working sets. Today we're gonna go to 3, so we're gonna squeeze out one more set with the weight we used last set, which I got about 11 reps. So right between that 10 and 12. And at this point in our program, like I said, we're kind of setting the foundation. So rather than adding an intensity factor like a drop set or going heavier than weight, adding this 3rd working set, we're just gonna add it for the volume, go from 2 to 3 workings, our only chest movement of the day. So we'll be okay there. You know, like I said, that changes depending on your goal, what kind of intensity you're going to add and how you're gonna add the intensity. So it doesn't always have to be weight, drop sets, stuff like that where you're going crazy. That's it. All right, last big movement of the day is the arsenal row. So at this point, this is my last exercise, so I really don't feel like I need a warm-up set. I used 25 for the 3 sets last week for working sets, so I'm gonna start with the first one here and then try and add some weight after. But this one with 10 to 12 reps should get me close to where I need to be, so let's give it a try. I'm getting good reach on this, keeping my spine straight, head tall, chin up. A little bit more upper back focus here. Sucked. And to finish today, we're gonna do a giant set, biceps, triceps, side delts, pecs. I'm gonna do some sets of 15 here, and just get a bunch of blood to these muscles. It's kind kind of pump tempo, nothing super crazy. Still trying to hit close to that failure mark. And that's the upper body day. Finished up on the nice giant set, feeling good. Had a really, good day. Was focused. Everything felt good, and that's important. So when you're going through your sets, try and go like 2, 3 really hard working sets on each exercise. Ones where you're hitting failure, the bar speed slows down. Maybe you have to stop halfway through and put it down. That's true failure right there. And that's what we want to be striving for each time. So as many warm-up sets as you need, but keep climbing the weight. Make sure you hit that intensity, that force. And just like general guidelines, 10 to 20 sets per body part per week in that high working set. So I would say today, what do we even get done? I think somewhere around like 16 working sets. So we're gonna climb that maybe to 18, 20. We'll see where this program goes, what the feedback is, what the data is. We're only on week 3. So hit a subscribe, follow, and let me know what you guys want to see next.